Hey guys, my name is Julian Cascante. I'm the owner and I'm instructor here in surfinguvita.com. Right now we're here in Marina Ballena National Park, and here's where we normally do the lessons. Today's a really beautiful day and I'm gonna give you a little explanation of how we normally give the lessons here. So in the beginning we normally always explain a little bit about security and what is security. So a few things really briefly. So first of all, when you are surfing, you always want to make sure there's no one in front of you or you are in front of someone, because when you are learning, if you get a wave, you are just going to come straight, and if there's someone in front of you, you are going to run over this person. Now also, so the right thing to do is, if you're in front of someone that is catching a wave, you want to move either to the left or to the right. And if you are catching a wave, if there's someone in front of you, you want to just stop there and don't take that wave. So also just make sure there's no people like swimmers or like there kids or families in front of you or close to you where you're surfing. Always when you are surfing with someone, you want to make sure you have enough space. You want to have maybe 4 or 5 meters between the two of you. It happens really often that people run over their friends, so you want to make sure you have enough space by yourself. Now, in this particular beach, we have stingrays. So when you're walking, you want to make sure you are dragging your feet. Now, a stingray is like a round fish, more or less like this. It's like a plate, and it likes to be on the bottom of the ocean. So when you're walking, you want to make sure you are always dragging your feet. Shoveling, 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 shoveling. Now, when you are taking your very first lesson, normally you want to use, normally you will have to use a big board. Many people, they like to use like a small board, like for example the red one. That's my board, and you need to have like a lot of practice to be able to catch waves with that board. So you normally, when you're learning, you are going to be using something like this. This is a 9-footer. This is something really big and stable. It will allow you to catch many waves. So in the beginning, this is most of the time what we are going to use. Now we also have soft tops, but I like to use these boards better. They surf better, they move better. It's a little bit easier to catch waves. So we normally use boards like this, but we also have soft tops. So now I'm gonna explain a little bit about how to get on the board. I can't explain everything here because there's many things that I can only explain on the water, but I'm gonna try to explain as best as I can from here. So the very first thing that you want to do when you are catching a wave is you want to make sure you get on the board as fast as you can. So when you see the wave that you want to catch, you want to make sure you get in position as fast as possible. And in position means like you get on the board, and so from here, the very first thing you want to make sure is you are not either too high on the board, because if you are too high, you are going to nosedive. Now, if you are way too low on the board, it's going to be really hard to catch waves. So you want to be more or less here, like your toes have to be touching the very back of the board. Now, that's not always true. That's depending on your body type, the kind of board that you have, but more or less here, this is what you are looking for. And you don't want your feet to be out of the board, you want the feet to be together. And okay, so when you see the wave, you just get on the board as fast as you can, feet together, always your chest in the middle, the nose has to be facing straight to the beach, and you have to make sure you are completely stable and comfortable. So when you are comfortable in the board, then you can start paddling. Now, it's super important to paddle, because if you don't paddle, the wave is just gonna kick you out of the board. So you need to have some momentum. Okay? So, okay, feet together, just in the middle, nose facing straight to the beach. And from here, I'm gonna start paddling. Now, it's not super important to paddle fast. So as long as you paddle, you can paddle slowly but deep and strong. So paddle from the very top to the bottom, paddle. This is not efficient. You don't want to paddle like this. So feet together, you paddle like this from the very top to the bottom. You don't want to just put your hands on the water. You want to do with your whole arm. They have to be on the water. And so paddle. Now, when the wave comes and you are gonna stand up, you are going to make sure you put your hands right in front of your chest. Now, if you put your hands a little bit too high, that's gonna be super hard to stand up. If you do something like this, you're probably going to flip the board. If you grab the board from the sides here, the water that goes underneath the board is just gonna kick out your hands and you are going to fall. So what you want to do is you want to put your hands right in front of your chest, and then from here you just stand up as fast as you can. Something like this. So when you stand up, you don't want to stretch your legs. If you stretch your legs, then you are going to lose all your balance. So stand up, but get as low as you can and hands up. Okay? I'm gonna do it again. So feet together, just in the middle, nose facing straight to the beach. Paddle, 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 paddle. Now I put my hands right in front of my chest. I stand up, I get low, I lift my hands. That's super important because when you are surfing, most of your balance you have it in the upper side of your body. So hands up, and they should be pointing to the beach. Now you want your feet to be like in 45 degrees, something like this. You don't want to be in this position, that's not efficient. So your feet pointing to the side, your hip, your shoulders, and in the beginning, the only thing that should be facing to the beach is just your face and pointing with your arms. Now, it's super important. Most of the time, I'm gonna explain a few things that people do wrong. And one of the bigger mistake is that people put too much weight on the back of the board. Now, the boards work like this. If you put most of your weight on the middle of the board, on the back of the board, sorry, then you are gonna have a lot of dragging, okay? And that's gonna stop the board. Now, if you put most of your weight here, this is going to make the board go forward. This is for going faster. If you put too much weight in the front of the board is gonna nosedive, but that rarely happens. So what we want to do is, we want to have one on the brake and the other one in the gas. So one in the very back, like in the top of the fin, and the other one as high as you can. So the more space you have between your legs, the better it's going to be. Now, so that's why it's important. When you stand up, just make sure you have as much space as possible between your legs. Get low, hands up, and lean forward. To put a little bit of weight in the front is just gonna make the board go faster, and it's gonna give you more stability. So also another tip is that when you look, when you're starting, you don't want to look at the wave or you don't want to look at the board. What you want to do is you want to look as far away as possible. Now, a few tips also is when you are just starting to surf, you want to always go where when it's low tide, because the waves break way further from the shore, and when you catch a wave, you can have a long ride. Now, if you come in high tide, the waves are going to break really close to the shore. So even if you catch a wave, you are gonna have to jump out of the board really fast. So a few things about security too. So when you are surfing, you don't want to come. When you catch a wave, you don't want to come where the water is too shallow, because you can break the fins, or you can also hurt yourself when you jump out of the board. So don't come where the water is too shallow. Normally, when you are learning, you want to go where the water is around here, and you jump out before it's too shallow. Now, this is more or less everything what we explain here. There's many other things that we explain on the water. But here, this is pretty much everything what I can tell you. So also a few things about taking care of the boards that is important. Some companies will charge you like up to $400, $500, $600 if you do something to their board. So you want to make sure when you rent a board, you want to put it with the fins. This is called the fins, and this is the leash. Also, so the leash always go in your back foot. So in my case, I surf like this, with my right foot in the front. So I put the leash on the back foot, which is the left one. If you surf the other way around like this, then you want to put it on the right one, okay? So also, yes, take care of the fins. And when you are renting a board and when you are not using it, you want to put it like this. Because if you put it like this, the wax is going to melt, and also you can break the fins. Now, also, you don't want to put weight on the board. Like, don't sit on the board, don't take a nap on the board when you have a rental board, because you can literally break it in half. Like, this is a really, really solid board. So still you can break it really easy. They are really fragile, even though they are really expensive. So make sure you take good care of the boards when you rent, not just with us, but with anyone. Like people really, sometimes they even overcharge you for boards. So careful with that. Now, I know it's really cool to like have a really small board like this one. For example, this is my board, but for surfing something like this, you will need to have a lot of time surfing. So like I say before, normally when you are renting a board, you want to rent something. If you have no experience, you want to rent something about 9, 8, something like that. It's depending how tall you are, but I would advise you to get a 9, which is something like this. So that's pretty much everything from here. If you have any questions, let us know. We are really, really close to the beach. We are like maybe 100 meters to the beach, and like we have many boards. We have also lifeguards. We have lifeguards. Sorry, and yeah, come surf with us. We have a really an amazing team here that will show you how to surf, or it's just probably going to be me. I am most of the time the one to give the lessons. So I am really focused in having a great time, but also in security. So we are gonna take good care of you. We are gonna take good care of your clients, with your family. So come here to surfinguvita.com and let's have a really great time. So see you next time.